everything. What's poppin', YouTube? What's up? What's going on, YouTube? I got something new we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the growing migrant crisis in America. That's what we're going to talk on today. I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but the takeover has already started. The takeover has already began. It started off, where I'm seeing it most at so far is coming to the rideshare jobs. Things like rideshare and delivery. Things like Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Shipt, all those things. Any type of delivery service. They're requiring you, a lot of companies are requiring you to be bilingual. A lot of American people, citizens, are getting kicked off of the platforms like Uber, DoorDash. They're getting kicked off for no reason. They're getting violations that they didn't commit. Order food today. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, your deliveries driver's name is going to be something from South American descent or Mexican descent. Guaranteed you're going to get Pedro, Julio, Victor, Olga. You're going to have all these type of names delivering your food. First, they started off taking over the fast food industries. If you guys look at it, all the fast food restaurants like McDonald's, I wouldn't say Burger King yet, but places like Church's Chicken, Crystal's, Cookout. I've seen them at a lot of restaurants. They're starting to take over all the restaurants. They're taking over all the restaurants. And it's not just there. It's not just them as well. There's a lot of Indian migrants who are coming over. I just met a lady we bought some smoothies from. I asked her how long has she been in the country. She said she's been over here 2 years from Argentina. She said she literally flew in through Houston. She didn't cross the border or anything. These people are getting free will to come into our country. They're getting free will. Even if you look at all the smoothie places like Tropical Smoothie, Smoothie King, the Indians are starting to buy all of these things. They don't eat these things. You don't see their customers there. They're starting to buy all of these things. The migrants are slowly taking over all of our businesses, and they're slowly taking over all of our jobs. I know you guys are seeing what's going on right now in Aurora, Colorado. You guys seeing what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. Y'all are seeing what's going on with those migrants who are taking over those apartment buildings in the projects. There are literally Venezuelan gangs in Aurora, Colorado right now. If you guys look it up, in Aurora, Colorado, the Venezuelan gangs are taking over all the apartment buildings. There are literally footages. There's footage of these guys going with AKs, assault rifles, door to door, knocking people's door down, making them evacuate from their apartments. So yeah, man. I don't know if you guys see it yet. I know a lot of you people want to see a female president. You guys are talking about women rights and all these things. But you guys are going to trade women rights for all of your rights. They're going to take away all of your economy, all of your jobs. Everything is going to be gone. They're going to take everything away. They already have taken away all the jobs now. Every single job that used to go to the lower class. I mean, I'm not speaking on all, because of course they're not going to just immediately come in and get all the higher middle class and the upper class jobs. But the lower class jobs for the lower middle class, the people who are the younger students, the college students who are competing for jobs, they're not going to be able to get jobs doing rideshare. They're not going to be able to get jobs doing DoorDash, because all of the migrants are taking their jobs. You guys are no longer going to be able to get finance in a couple of years. Financial aid is going to go way down. It's going to be to the point where our children are going to have to start going to community colleges, and their children are going to be the ones getting all the grants and scholarships to go to the major universities. If you spend lottery in your state, all of the lottery money is going toward schools, grants, and scholarships. 100% of the lottery money. All of that money is going to the migrants. All of that money is going to the migrants. The Pell Grant, all that stuff is going to the migrants. It's going to the migrants, man. Like, I just seen a lady on TikTok a few weeks ago. She said she saved up for years. She saved up $25,000. As hard as it is to save in an American economy with this high inflation, she was able to save up $25,000 and start her a food truck. She started this food truck, and I guess the pandemic came. Her business couldn't last. So instead of her being able to get help from the government, she wasn't able to get approved for a PPP loan. So instead of her being able to get help from the government, she had to sell her truck. So that's not the kick to the story. The person who purchased her truck was a migrant. And when the migrant came, when to purchase the truck, she was thinking like, hey, are you going to get a cashier's check from your bank? How are you going to be paying? They said, just give me a money order and I'm going to take it to the government and they'll send you a check. So the government is literally funding all these businesses. So when you go and think like, how did these Spanish people save up all this money this quick? And how did they start these restaurants? How are they getting apartment complexes? How are they starting all these businesses with no credit? They haven't even been here long enough to build credit. They're giving them grants. The government is paying for this. These people aren't just coming over here. They've heard about all the free money that America has. They're not just going to come over here to be homeless. They hear about all the free money that America's giving away over here. I just seen a lady, she had like $11,000 on her EBT card and $3,400 in EBT cash. But Americans, if you're an American who makes over $1,500 a month, you don't qualify for food stamps. There are some Americans who I know who are getting $25 a month food stamps. And the migrants are coming over here automatically qualifying. They're automatically qualifying for the grants. As long as you're a migrant, you qualify for funding. There are certain loans and certain financial institutions who are approving them. They're getting funding from the government to approve these loans. They're getting incentives from the government to improve these loans. But we're not getting the same thing for our American citizens. We're not getting the same treatment as the migrants are. The migrants are coming over here having a free living. This is free will for them. They get to do whatever they want. They're the American dream has become the migrant. It's not the migrant, it's the migrant. The American dream. There's no such thing anymore as the American dream. That's been stolen by the migrants. All of their children, they're going to get a lot more support and help than your children are. They're going to get a lot more support than your children are going to get. All that scholarship money, all those summer jobs that your children were once able to work, they're not going to get those jobs. And when they do get those jobs, they're not going to get fair pay. They're not going to get awarded fair pay when they start working these jobs. You want to know why? Because that same summer job they were going to pay your child $15 to $17 for at McDonald's, the migrants are going to accept 12 to 13. They're going to take $12 to $13. So now that's going to force your child to have to take less pay. Even adults who are working in fast food, that's going to force them to take less pay. All the construction workers, back in the day, you seen black men building. All the construction workers are going to migrants and Mexican people. These people can't even speak English. All of the companies are getting a tax incentive. That's why they're letting these people over here, because it's helping the American economy, that they say. They think it's helping the American rich. They're getting cheaper labor. Americans are requesting higher minimum wage all over the country. We're requesting higher minimum wage. Everyone else, they're happy with what they're getting. They're going to come over here and work hard and proud for those $12. Versus the American citizen, we're not going to work hard for those $12. We know that we're being underpaid. And the fact that they can bring these migrants over here and they can send this same money back to their countries where our currency is worth 4 and 5 times their currency. So they're literally coming here working, sending their money back home and getting rich. A lot of people are only coming over here for a second, get rich, and they go back home. They're enriching their families back home. They're coming here for our currency. Our currency is worth 5 times theirs. The US dollar is worth 4 times the peso. And I can only imagine how much more it's worth than the money in South America and some of these smaller countries like Argentina and Colombia and Haiti. They're coming here taking advantage of our economy, and they're getting a free handout. They're giving them free money. And you can't get approved to get a loan. With your 700 credit score, you still can't get a business loan. You still can't get a credit card past $1,500, $500 with a 700 credit score. It's still not enough. But the migrants come over here and get approved for a $50,000 grant for their business with no prerequisites, no requirements. The only requirement is that you're a migrant and have an idea. That's it. They don't even speak English. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. They don't even speak English. It's like guaranteed. So this is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. The American citizen is a slave to the migrants. We're literally slaves to these migrant people, man, who are coming over here. But the part that's even worse, we're not doing anything about it. No one's protesting about, no one's doing this stuff. This is why we're having inflation. There's not enough stuff to go around. We just had 30 million more people coming here under Biden. There's not enough food for us. The supply and demand is higher now because there's a 10% increase on the American population in 4 years. We've had a 10% increase on our entire population in just 4 years. That took hundreds of years to build. And we just start tracking these numbers, guys. Imagine how many years they've been coming in when we weren't paying attention. We just started paying attention, America. Imagine what the real numbers are. There's been 20 to 30 million coming in 4 years. Imagine how many have come in the last 10. They've slowly taken over our country. They've taken our country. This is why you're seeing people running in the White House on January 6th. This is the real reason why. This is why you saw those people running into the White House. Trump told y'all what was going to happen. He told you they're dumping their gangs and their prisoners on America. Look what's happening in Colorado right now. Look what the Venezuelan gangs are doing. And these same gangs are going to get grants. They're giving them funding. How are these people getting guns? Let's start using our common sense, guys. How are these people getting armed? They're letting them across. They're letting these people across. They're playing us, America. We're getting played. We're getting played. Not just one race of people. All of us are getting played. We're getting played. If you guys put Kamala Harris back in office for 4 more years, she's been in there for 4 years already. Under Slow Joe, they let in 30 million. Imagine how many people they're going to let in under Kamala Harris. She's already in. Look, like, go to Tropical Smoothie today. If you stay by a Tropical Smoothie anywhere in the country, you're going to see who owns it. An Indian. From India, China. These people are by the hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. And there's no outrage in America. That's why we have inflation. It's not just Ukraine. We had a 10% increase on our population, and we don't have the demand for it. So much demand, they're not even selling us real food anymore. Look what Chick-fil-A just said. They can't even guarantee you that they can have chicken with non-GMO and with no GMO in it, with no things that have been added to it. They can't guarantee that anymore because they don't have the supply. Look how many more people, 20, 30 more million people just came into our country. We don't have enough food and energy for that. So you know what? Your prices of your electricity bills are going to go up. Everything is going to go up in your life because of this. This is going to lead to your electricity bills going up, your energy costs. Then they're trying to switch everything over to green. When you just seen Trump on this interview with Elon Musk, he just sat there and explained for the requirements that they want to make our country fully AI, it's going to take 2.5 the times of energy that we use as a whole, as a country now. We don't have the energy. We don't have it. And yet they still want to force these things on us. They still want to force this stuff on us. This is America. What happened to our country in just 4 years? The stock markets were at all-time highs. American companies were coming back like AMC, Radio Shack, Ford. A lot of American companies were thriving. The American economy was thriving. Small businesses who were never able to get funding before were able to get funding. More black businesses were started under Donald Trump than any other time in history since the Black Wall Street era. Now look at our country. The same people who Joe Biden said, if you're not black, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, if you don't know why to vote for Joe Biden and then you ain't black. That's insane. This is what we're dealing with now, America. Our country has been stolen. Not only was the election stolen, but our country has been stolen from us. They've sold our country. Look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's attitude towards these things. She's talking about all the border policies she's going to implement. You're the border czar now. You're in office now. Things like tax on tips, you're in office right now, Kamala. Stop lying. You're going to give all our money to Ukraine and the migrants. Stop lying. Stop lying to us, please. We didn't ask you for those lies. Stop lying to us, please. If you guys aren't paying attention to what's going on, please, guys, start paying attention to what's going on. We need to start protesting. Not just regular government officials. American citizens need to be talking to our border patrol, talking to our local governors. We need to be protesting these things. We need to be making a stand. We need to boycott certain things. We need to boycott certain places. If they're not going to lower the food prices at the grocery stores, let's start boycotting and stop buying it. Stop buying it. I guarantee you, if we stop buying it, the prices will go down. Stop spending your money there. If they don't want to take gas prices down, stop buying gas. Stop going to work. You know why we can't do that? Because they have too many migrants. So if 20 million people decide to quit their jobs, we're just going to replace you. The government seen this coming already. They already seen this coming. They were prepared. That's why they're letting these people in. This is a slap in the face to Americans. This is letting you know, hey, if you're not going to work, we have some people who